The weekend is upon us, which means it's time to take another look through the eShop and see what deals we can find for the weekend and to carry us into next week. In today's episode, we're going to spotlight 20 plus games, and then on top of that, we'll show you some games that are having entire series sales and some games that are still on sale from previous episodes. Hey everyone, I'm JP, and this is Good Talk HQ. If you're new here, please consider hitting that subscribe button, become part of the family. It's free to you, and it means the world to us. On top of that, each week we sweeten the deal by offering 2 free eShop gift cards of $5 each to 2 of our subscribers. All you have to do to enter is make sure to be a subscriber, leave a like on the video, and make sure you comment on any of the eShop videos throughout the week so I know to enter you in. And if you've been here before, let me extend another heartfelt thank you as always. You're the heart of this channel and the reason we enjoy making videos every week. Our community keeps getting bigger and it's been a wild ride. I enjoy reading and responding to all the comments, so please keep them coming. But without any further ado, let's jump into today's list and save some money. Alright, and we're going to start today's list off with Air, Memories of Old. This is a single-player 3D adventure game from Daedalic Entertainment and will take 3 or 4 hours to complete. This is a gorgeous, open-world adventure that tells the tale of a once-lost world that has been shattered into islands in the sky. As one of the last shapeshifters, we must set off on an adventure towards the land of the gods in an attempt to stop the remaining world from falling into total darkness. This game features beautiful cel-shaded graphics that look gorgeous on the Switch. The most unique feature of the game is how you traverse. Players can shapeshift into an eagle and fly from island to island. It feels so good to jump into the sky and take flight. If you're interested in Air, it's currently marked down 90% from the normal $19.99 for just $1.99 until July 8th. Alright, and next up we have Black Paradox. This is an arcade-style, fast-paced 2D shooter from publisher Digerati, one of our favorites, and offers local couch co-op for 1 to 2 players. The game should take players roughly 5 to 6 hours to complete, and in this one, you'll travel through space as an infamous bounty hunter in an attempt to take down the biggest crime organization in the galaxy. The game features gorgeous animations and character models against a retro-style pixel art background that looks stunning on the Switch, both while in docked and in handheld. Players will also have access to more than 50 powerful upgrades, which will come in handy against many of the 14 bosses throughout the game. There's even a hardcore boss rush mode for the most veteran of players. Black Paradox is currently on sale until July 1st, marked down 70% to just $4.49. Alright, next up we have the Bleed Complete Bundle. This bundle includes both great titles from publisher Digerati once again, and they both offer roughly 5 to 10 hours of gameplay each. Both games offer local couch co-op for up to 2 players, which again is a feature we always enjoy. Now these are action-based platform games with a focus on acrobatic combat and can be incredibly challenging. Both games do offer multiple difficulty settings though, with loads of unlockables to collect. The game also looks and runs great on the Switch. The only thing is the control scheme does take a little getting used to, so you may find some cheap deaths happen early on, but once you get used to the controls you'll be jumping, dodging, and shooting your way through hordes of enemies. Right now you'll be able to grab up the Bleed bundle at its all-time low until July 1st, marked down 85% to just $4.19. Alright, next up we have Blossom Tales: The Sleeping King. This is a single-player, retro-style 2D RPG from FDG Entertainment, and the main story will take players roughly 10 to 15 hours to complete. Now there's no mistaking where they found their inspiration for this one, but just because it appears to be a clone of an older 2D Zelda title, don't let that deter you. There's a lot of charm and personality to this game that make it unique in many ways. The story is told in a unique way as well, and basically starts off with a grandfather telling his grandchildren a story, which then transports them into the game itself. Players will set off to uncover the mysteries of many dungeons and face off with powerful bosses on your mission to save the Kingdom of Blossom from eternal darkness. So of course, if you're a fan of A Link to the Past or other RPGs from that era, this game will most likely be right up your alley. Blossom Tales is currently on sale for just $3.74, marked down 75% from the normal $14.99. Alright, next up we have Elli. This is a single-player 3D puzzle platformer with a top-down view from publisher Banana Kid and will take roughly 6 to 7 hours to complete. Fans of games like Super Mario Odyssey and other modern 3D platformers may find some fun in this little adventure, which features a likable protagonist and some cleverly designed puzzles for the player to solve along the way. Now, while you can definitely tell that this is made by a small team, the actual gameplay is solid and offers a great platforming experience with solid controls and beautiful scenery. The designs of the levels and puzzles work so well together also, and this may be the most gripping part of the whole game. Elli also features a simple control scheme, which is great for both kids and adults alike. If you're into puzzle-style platformers, give Elli a shot, currently on sale until July 5th for just $1.99, marked down 75%. Alright, and next up we have Flood of Light. This is a single player 2D puzzle platformer from publisher Indie Nova and will take players roughly 6 to 8 hours to complete. Now this, like I said, is a puzzle game that focuses on gorgeous art and mesmerizing music. Players will take control of a young girl who finds herself in a city that has been completely flooded with water and must use your ability to control the light in order to solve puzzles. Each puzzle that you solve causes the water to lower gradually until you finally clear the city and save the day. The story has some nice twists and reveals itself to be much more than what it seems at first, and there are 9 playable chapters spanning more than 60 levels that progressively get harder and more complex as you go. This is another one of those retro narrative driven style games that we really enjoy on the channel, so there's a lot of value here when it's on sale, and right now the game is currently marked down 50% until July 8th for just $2.49. Alright, and next up we have Golazo. This is a wild sports title coming to us from Purple Tree and offers unlimited hours of local couch co-op fun for up to 4 players. Golazo is a no-holds-barred, no-rules, all-out, chaotic football game with more than 50 teams to choose from and some custom visual options to give you a true retro arcade feel from decades past. There are a couple of different modes to play and optional power-ups to add some mayhem to the action as well. This game reminded me of NFL Blitz from back in the day, just the, American soccer or football version. And like with those games, they've shrunk down the playing field, which forces the action more often. If you like the old school early classics like Goal from the old 8-bit days, I think this might just give you a strong nostalgic feeling and be right up your alley again. If you think this is a game for you, make sure to grab it up on sale before July 12th, marked down 73% to just $4.04. Alright, and next up we have Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. This is a 2D action platformer from Drinkbox Studios and offers roughly 10 to 15 hours of main story gameplay, and is available for up to 4 players in local couch co-op. This is a Metroidvania style platformer set in a magical world inspired by traditional Mexican folklore and culture. Players will traverse densely filled towns, dark forests, and fiery volcanoes in this challenging action-packed game. One of the best features for us was the drop-in co-op, which is available for the entire game. The game had us hooked the entire time from start to finish and is one of our personal favorites at the channel. Make sure you grab this one up before June 29th for just $3.74, marked down 75%, and that's a steal. The sequel is also available and was featured in last episode. Next up we have Mable in the Wood. This is a single player 2D action platformer published once again by Graffiti Games and will take players roughly 5 to 10 hours to complete. Players will take control of Mable, and in her normal form, she is really limited to basically just walking and jumping. She can't run, and she can't even swing her sword. However, as you progress through the story, you'll gain these new shapeshift forms that will add new moves and mechanics to the game. It's actually pretty cool how they implemented it, because each time you beat a boss, you'll get a new ability based on the boss that you just defeated. One bit of fair warning though, I can't tell you how many times I got lost in this game, so the map is pretty much useless, or at least I couldn't use it. Other than that though, the game is phenomenal and features one of the most expressive pixel art styles I've ever seen. Make sure you don't miss this one as it's currently on sale, 75% off until June 30th for just $3.74. Alright, and next up we have Odallus, The Dark Call. This is a single player 8-bit style retro platformer from Digerati and is inspired by the older Castlevania titles with the main campaign that will take players roughly 5 to 10 hours to complete. Now this game is 100% inspired by 8-bit NES titles, so if you're a fan of the 8-bit Castlevania titles, this one will absolutely be welcome in your digital library. In Odallus, we play as a warrior on a mission to save his son from falling into darkness. If you've been wanting a good demon slaying game, this one features 8 massive levels with epic boss battles, great controls, and some of the best 8-bit graphics and music on the console. The game also features over 50 enemy types, and it offers a hardcore mode for serious gamers looking for a real challenge. Overall, this is a great homage to the 8-bit era and is one of the games I recommend you check out. Right now you'll be able to grab it up until July 1st, marked down 70% to just $3.59. Alright, and next up we have Ovivo. This is a single player 2D platformer from publisher Sometimes You, and the game will take roughly 3 hours or so to complete. Now while this game is on the shorter side, the visual story told throughout is absolutely one of a kind. There's almost no text in the game, and the entire game is in black and white. Players will take control of Ovo, a small spherical creature that has the ability to shift between 2 colors, making for some unique momentum-based platforming where the plane of gravity is constantly shifting. So while in white, gravity pulls you down, and while you're in the black, gravity pulls you up. so as you play through you'll learn to phase in and out of each area almost in a fluid-like motion, and while it may sound and look simple, it's quite challenging and ultimately extremely rewarding to pull off. So if you like games that can challenge your mind while putting you at peace, please consider Ovivo. It's currently on sale until June 28th for just $199, marked down 72%. Alright, and next up we have Oniken, the Unstoppable Edition. This is a single-player, arcade-style platform fighter from Digerati, and the main story will take you roughly 5 to 6 hours to complete. This is another great title that invokes that sense of nostalgia as soon as you boot it up. The soundtrack, the graphics are both top-notch recreations of the look and the sound of the 8-bit days. In fact, this game was inspired heavily by those challenging games of that era. This game offers 6 gauntlet-style stages where players will face off against enemies, traps, and tough bosses. Now players can tackle the game in one of two ways. You can just do the normal campaign, or you can do the boss rush mode if you just want to battle one of the nearly 20 bosses in the game. And they included a hard mode as well, so if the game wasn't hard enough already, there you go. If this one looks interesting, make sure to grab it up. It's at 70% off until July 1st, marked down to just $2.99. Alright, next up we have Pato Box. I saw this one on Over the Shoulder Gaming, so shout out to you, Jello. This is a single player arcade fighting style game from publisher Bromeo and will take roughly 6 to 8 hours to complete. The game features an over the shoulder view very similar to the old school Punch-Out games, and honestly it looks a lot like those titles, but it also shares almost identical movesets with the Punch-Out games as well. You dodge left or right, duck, and either land a high punch or a body shot. Where the game sets itself apart though is the story, which follows Pato after he's been ambushed at the height of his career. So when we awake from this brutal attack, it's our goal to get to the bottom of the case and discover the true reason behind this vicious attack. The game features black and white graphics with a mix of 2D and 3D elements throughout the stages. And that's another highlight of the game. You aren't confined to just in-ring battles, you actually get to explore and work your way to the boss battles. This is an amazing game, so make sure you grab it up because it's currently at an all-time low until June 28th, marked down 80% to just $2.99. Once again, thank you, Jello. Alright, and next up we have Severed. This is a single-player, first-person, dungeon-crawling RPG from Drinkbox Studios with a main campaign that will take roughly 5 to 7 hours to complete. In Severed, we play as a young girl who's lost her family and one of her arms, so you'll set out on a quest to find your missing family. The game has a unique tunnel vision type movement that's hard to explain but really adds to the immersion, and that combined with the colorful dungeons really was beautiful to look at the entire game. One thing that definitely surprised me was the difficulty level. This game has some enemy encounters that are brutally challenging and in turn very rewarding to defeat. The combat is sort of a mixture of standard RPG mechanics and something like Fruit Ninja, where you can swipe your fingers across the screen to attack. Another heads up though, the dungeons can become very maze-like, so it did require a pretty heavy amount of backtracking, just keep that in mind. You'll be able to get Severed on sale until June 29th, marked down 75% for just $3.74. Alright, and next up we have Slayin 2. This is an arcade-style action RPG from publisher FDG Entertainment, available for 1 to 2 players offline and offers a main story that will take roughly 12 hours to complete. In Slayin 2, players will face off against hordes of enemies while trying to spring together as many kills as they can. In the sequel, they've added new mechanics and there's now a foreground and a background that you can jump between, similar to something like Rayman Legends. The sequel also includes drop-in couch co-op, which again is a feature we always welcome at this channel. There are 8 playable characters, each with unique moves and skill sets, multiple difficulty modes, and multiple actual game modes to give plenty of value to this chaotic RPG. The soundtrack is also top-notch as well. If you like the first Slayin or you think this one looks good, it's currently on sale 75% off until July 1st for just $2.99. Alright, and next up we have Towerfall. This is a single-screen 2D platforming game coming to us from publisher Matt Makes Games and is available for up to 6 players in local couch co-op. The main story will take players roughly 10 to 20 hours to complete, but the heart and soul of this game is the multiplayer action, in which players will start with a ranged weapon and nothing else. There's modifiers and rules that you can change, but the default just has you trying to eliminate as many players as possible in a certain time limit, similar to a standard deathmatch in most PvP games. One thing I do want to note is that this was a port to the Switch and it added the 6-player mode, which is an exclusive to the Switch, and that's always nice when you get a little bonus when buying something on the eShop. This game may be one of the best couch co-op competitive multiplayer games we've played, and right now you can get it on sale for $3.99, marked down 80% until June 28th. Alright, and next up we have another great multiplayer game, Unravel 2. This is an amazing 2D platformer from EA and offers roughly 6 or so hours of main story gameplay, with, like I said, local couch co-op for up to 2 players. Now this is the sequel to one of our favorite platformers, and this one introduces the second playable character. As you might imagine, with a second playable character also made of yarn, it makes for some amazing and complex puzzles and obstacles in the stages. This is mainly due to the fact that the two yarnies are connected by a string, and thus they can't travel too far away from one another and must help each other to reach the end of the level. They even threw in some customization for the yarnies, so you can kind of match them up to different Joy-Cons if you have different people playing. This is one of the most fun times we've had in co-op in a while. One thing I do like is that they made the solo gameplay completely viable as well, so if you don't have a second player, you just control both and overcome the puzzles that way. I personally think Unravel 2 is worth the asking price at normal price, so whenever it's on sale it's a no-brainer. Right now you can get it marked down 75% to just $4.99 until June 28th. Alright, and next up we have Vesta. This is a single-player adventure puzzler from publisher Final Boss Games with a main story that will take roughly 5 or 6 hours to complete. A bit more again for the completionist, and it's told from a top-down perspective. In Vesta, players must work their way through an abandoned space colony, solving puzzles and progressing onward to finally uncover what happened here and why everyone is missing. Stages are comprised of multiple puzzles that see us charging up different items in order to move them into position, with the goal being to reach the elevator at the end of each stage. Vesta also has her own personal security droid, which players can switch between during the levels for some more intense combat sections, and also on occasion the droid can be used to access areas Vesta can't reach to solve a puzzle. Overall, this is a great game with amazing graphics and animation, and right now it's on sale for just $1.99, marked down 80% until June 28th. Alright, and now we have Little Man's pick for the week, which is Letter Quest Remastered. This is a single-player puzzle-style RPG coming to us once again from Digerati with a main campaign that will last roughly 8 to 10 hours, and potentially double that for completionists. Now this is a twist on the standard RPG genre, and rather than normal attacks and magic, players will have to spell out words, and each word will do damage based on how complex that word was. Now while that looks and sounds simple, sometimes you have to be careful because some letters can hurt you, so you can't use them to make a word or else you'll do damage to yourself, while other times, words and letters can have double damage depending on the modifier. This mechanic really does add some strategic thinking to the game, but perhaps the most welcome feature is that there's no timer, so it makes it easier for younger players so they don't get filled up with anxiety as they try to learn and spell a new word. Overall, I think this was a great idea. I mean, it's a fun game that gives young players a better understanding of the English language while having some fun. If you have a younger family member, or perhaps it looks like it's fun for you yourself, you can grab this one up until July 1st, marked down 75% to just $2.99. Check it out. Alright, and here's a quick look at a couple of series that are on sale. And here's some games that are still on sale from previous episodes. Alright folks, and if you allow me another moment or two of your time, I just want to say real quick, thank you so much for watching the video. We truly appreciate it. The channel has grown tremendously in the past couple of weeks, really, and it's all because of you folks, so I thank you so much. Please keep writing comments to us so that we have something to write back to. Oh yeah, real quick, before you go, if I saved you a few dollars or you had a good time, please hit that like button on the video, consider subscribing and become part of our extended family. And remember that each week we give out 2 free eShop gift cards to our loyal subscribers. So just make sure you hit that subscribe button, leave a like on the video, and comment on any of the eShop videos throughout the week so I know to enter you in. Alright everyone, you know what time it is. Take us home, little man.
That's all for today's list. We hope you liked the video. If you did, consider subscribing and liking down below. Okay, bye!